Okay, so today we're gonna switch it up from Moses.
You ever done a
Control, look.
Yeah.
Their color's green. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to Hosea. I'm gonna read chapter 4 to start off.
Then you check and they send you false one. Then way back.
It is in the Old Testament, way back.
Oh, I've been to your. You did, not sensation.
It's like dead center in the book.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You said way back.
What was it?
Yeah, it's like that center of the book. H.
HOS.
Holy.
Got it?
Holy.
I'm gonna read the whole chapter 4. I want you guys to pay attention and tell me what it's all about. Ready? Listen to the word of the Lord, O sons of Israel, for the Lord has a case against the inhabitants of the land, because there is no faithfulness or kindness or knowledge of God in that land. There is swearing, deception, murder, stealing, and adultery. They employ violence so that bloodshed follows bloodshed. Therefore their land mourns, and everyone who lives in it languishes. Allow the beasts of the fields and the birds of the sky, along with the beasts of the fields and birds of the sky, and also the fish of the sea disappear. Yet let no one find fault, and let no one reprove, for your people are like those who contend with the priest. So you will stumble by day, and the prophet will also stumble with you by night. And I will destroy your mother, and my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I also will reject you from being my priest, since you have forgotten the law of your God. I also will forget your children. The more they multiplied, the more they sinned against me. I will change their glory into shame. They feed on the sins of my people and direct their desire towards their iniquity. And it will be like people, like priests. So I will punish them for their ways and repay them for their deeds. They will eat but not have enough. They will play the harlot but not increase, because they have stopped giving heed to the Lord. Harlotry, wine, or harlotry is prostitution. Just letting you know that. Wine and new wine take away the understanding. My people can consult their wooden idol, and their diviner's wand informs them. For the spirit of harlotry has led them astray, and they have played the harlot, departing from their God. They have sacrifices on top of mountains, and burn incense on the hills, under oak, popple, and terebinth. Sure. Because their shade is pleasant. Therefore your daughters play the harlot, and your brides commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they play the harlot, or your brides when they commit adultery. For the men themselves go apart with harlots, and offer sacrifices with temple prostitutes. So the people without understanding are ruined. Though you, Israel, play the harlot, do not let Judah become guilty. Also, do not go to Gilgal or go up to Benhaven and take the oath, as the Lord lives. Since Israel is stubborn like a stubborn heifer, can the Lord now pasture them like the lamb in a large field? Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their liquor gone, they play the harlot continually. Their rulers dearly love shame. The wind wraps them in its wings, and they will be ashamed because of their sacrifices. There's so many things in here. I did kind of fly through it, but what's something that sticks out?
Sounds like the world we live in.
The world we live in today? What? Spiritual adultery?
Swearing. Worshipping numbers on your body rather than the Lord itself.
Yeah, and where does it say? My people consult their wooden idols, and their diviner's wand informs them. For a spirit of harlotry has led them astray. They have played the harlot, departing from their God. That one is the one. What does that mean? You guys already hit all the other lines. What you got?
Sing again.
My people consult their wooden idols, and their diviner's wand informs them. For a spirit of harlotry has led them astray, and they have played the harlot, departing from their God.
Yeah, I don't know what half those words mean.
Harlot. Harlot's like prostitute or hooker, whatever you want.
Spiritual.
Whoa, stop. I know you know. No, I know you know. I know you know too. Let me make my point before you two spoil it.
I think we
Shoot.
but it says like your item to them like can say you're going to let us to them.
You're on the right path. That's first step. Pardon?
The other side. Spirited blasphemes, I say.
Yeah. That's not what she said, but yeah. But people consult their wooden idols. It's saying that you're looking to the world. You're looking to worldly things. You're not going to God for consulting. You know, you guys know what a consultant is, right? You go to them for like advice. You go to them when you need something. They're going to their idols and their diviner's wand. They're going to like the fortune tellers, the false prophets, the stuff that's taking them away from God. They're not looking to the Bible or to God or God's laws. They're coming to like worldly things. Like they're like, oh, I have a problem and I don't know what it is. I have this hole in me and I can't figure it out. I'm like, okay, like let's go talk to the therapist or whatever. Like they're missing God. But then they turn around and do the same thing. That's what it says then after it. Then they offer sacrifices on top of the mountains and burn incense on the hills. Burning incense is, and offering sacrifices, that's to a different God. They're referencing Baal in this, but that's what they're going with this. This whole chapter, chapter 4, is all about like the sinfulness of Israel. Israel is God's chosen people. Okay, now I got a question for you guys. You can flip to chapter 1 too. We're going backwards. I got a question for you.
But there's a more important verse here, I think.
Was it?
Order. Verse 6, the first part. By keeping curiously light and knowledge. Or was it played a bit necessary?
We're going to get to though. Would you stay with your significant other or partner if they cheated on you? No? No? What if you love them with all your heart?
Honestly, they don't love you back. Sometimes you gotta break up with the person that you love to find someone that loves you. See? Just saw that on TikTok this morning.
So we know how you feel, Vinny.
And
20-year relationship.
for Mary, no,
Mary? Girl?
I don't think my wife would cheat on me if you can follow her gun though.
Yes? But you won't get back.
What?
You loved her with everything? You want to go back? You wouldn't stick with her? You wouldn't forgo
She would have to divorce me. I mean, we went over that. Make that it.
Lana?
It's cheat out.
Trevor?
More than I did that.
Maddie? Maggie?
Self-only. 40 years. And can marry. That feels like a different thing. Like, if it was just you, was it...
Okay, then here's another question then. What do you consider cheating? Well, let's go back to this then.
Anything you'd be ashamed to find no, it's... If it hit the...
Okay, but would you say like, oh, flirting with the bartender or flirting with the waitress when you go out or whatever?
Well, okay. But also, like, that sort of cheating, I don't look at it. It's a relationship or a 20-year marriage.
Okay, but now there's different levels, right? I forgot your name. I know it's Sully. Maleo? Yeah. Okay. What would you say?
I would.
There's hesitation there.
Well, the level and getting to you, then... Oh, God.
Obviously, yeah, they go and sleep with somebody else, everyone's going to say no.
Yeah.
Talking to their ex, how about that?
Red flag.
Would you end it over that?
Dating, yes. Well, married.
You've been dating for a long time. They talked to their ex for a weekend.
Well, what time to talk about it?
Where are they? With it, like,
Yeah, they right. I know them at the supermarket or something.
And they're just
Oh, then they texted after that.
then you just be like, "What's up with this?" And if they tell you that they like him,
okay, good.
Does that change anything?
yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah. But this, I mean, if you're, I don't know, I guess it depends. I'd say like that is, I'm not gonna tell my girlfriend if they just go and they talk to their ex at the store.
Yeah.
Well, that's not cheating.
No, but I mean, like,
It's like you find out they have a Insta profile. Yeah, and it. You thought I'm must stay. What if they're just What if they're just friends?
I didn't. But
I mean, if they really cheated and they can consider it cheating, and you know,
would I do that?
Everybody agrees that cheating. Would you what?
Would I do that? No. So I would expect them to do it.
I feel like it was something I would get. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but in that
By saying that. That's yeah, right? And not, but I don't know. Okay, chapter 1, 1 through 5. Actually, before you do that, when I said the marriage thing, the marriage you're promising, you're committing your life to the other person, right?
covenant.
It's covenant. You'd both be breaking it then, right? She broke her commitment, or he broke her commitment to you. She went in, they cheated on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd be breaking it by ending it with them, right? Kind of sounds like two wrongs, right? Makes you think about it a little bit, doesn't it?
what are you supposed to?
But yeah, what
Are you supposed to stay with somebody?
I'm not giving you that answer. I'm making you think about how that would feel.
I know. I still not. Oh my God. I still like it.
Okay, read one.
they need to lose their trust.
You lose their trust. That is a good answer. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now read 1 through 5, please.
Word of the Lord which came to Hosea, the son of Beeri, during the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and during the days of Jeroboam, the son of Josiah, king of Israel. When the Lord first spoke through Hosea, the Lord said to Hosea, "Go take to yourself a wife of harlotry and have children of harlotry, for the land commits flagrant harlotry, forsaking the Lord." So he went and took a Gomer, the daughter of Diblam, and she conceived and bore him a son. And the Lord said to him, "Name him Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will punish the house of Jehu for the bloodshed of Jezreel, and I will put an end to the kingdom of the house of Israel. On that day I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel."
So what did the Lord just do? Bart?
Dawson Beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that sound like something the Lord would do? Well, he's saying it right here. Why would he do that? Don't you two say a thing either.
I'm biting my tongue.
Okay, and then pay attention to this too. And she conceived and bore him a son. She conceived and bore him a son. Just keep that in mind. It's his kid. Read 6 through 9 now. Landon, you're up.
And let's keep it a little rough though. It's gonna about a minute and bear with me.
Actually, just read 6 first. And then pause. Let me ask a question and then continue with 7, 8, 9.
She conceived a dad and bore a daughter. Oh. All right. And the Lord said to him, all her name and not did it for it. I will no more call pity on the house vision. Good like that.
How was that one worded?
Water. It.
Not bore him a daughter.
She.
What was the first part of that, or the verse 2? Go take yourself a wife of prostitution and have a children out of prostitution. When you marry, you become one, right? So if he's married a prostitute, that's part of it, right? They have kids. That's kids of prostitution, right? She's not a believer. That's what it's telling you. That he is a believer. Why is God telling him to do this? If you guys figure that out as we go, just blurt it out. I'm gonna tell you at the end unless one of you guys figure it out.
Wait, what is that? You say what's the water?
Why is God telling him to marry a prostitute? Okay, sorry, Lenny. Continue. 7, 8, 9.
But I have video on the house of Buddha, and I will deliver them by the name and take out. And not deliver them by bow, or by sword, or by word, and by promises, or by worthless. Which she had me and not did it, she can see it and bore a son. The Lord said, all his name not I can vote, for ye are not my people, and I not.
Okay, does anybody else's Bible say for the one name, Lo Raham, and then the other one, Lo Ami?
Yes, not this.
Yep.
Watch.
Mine says the All Mercy. But the girl need a second.
Okay.
And shit, mean, well, not.
But God says he will no longer have compassion for Israel, his people, right? Keep that in mind as we keep going too. But he told him to name his daughter or his son or whatever, Lo Raham, which means not having obtained mercy, not pity. So why would he tell Hosea to name that?
So it's a reminder
It's a reminder of what?
that I'm
God isn't pitying Israel? Yeah, we're on the right path. And Lo Ami means not my people.
Not in kids.
Not his kids. Oh, why?
because they were born through prostitution.
They're born through sin, right?
Yeah.
Also, they are actually his kids.
No, they're not. But they're not his kids. But why is God telling him to name them not his kids? He's not taking credit for that kid, right? He's saying like, oh, that's not mine, right? God's mad at Israel too, isn't he? What did he say when he said, name the kid, not, name him Lo-Ami, for you are not my people and I am not your God. Are his people leading by example from what I just read in 4?
Yes, it is. You the water.
Bet, read 10 and 11.
You all owner.
Nah, Trev, you got one.
But the Israelites will be like the sand on the seashore, which cannot be measured or counted. In the place where it was said to that you are not my people, they will be all the children of the living God. The people of Judah and the people of Israel will come together. They will on the here and on off out of the land will great will be,
And they are as
What do you name his first kid? Jezreel. Jezreel means God sows. You're like how God says you sow, you reap. you sow what you reap, right? That basically means like if you plant it, you take care of it, it will grow great, right? If you plant the good seed, it'll turn into a good tree. If you plant the bad seed, it'll turn into a bad tree, right? That's what it says in the example. So he named that kid. God told him to name that kid. That was his. God sows. What did he say when he said name him that? Name him Jezreel for yet a little while, and I will punish the house of Jehu for the bloodshed of Jezreel, and I will put an end to the kingdom of the house of Israel. The kingdom of the house of Israel at the time was evil. Obviously, you could see. Shepherd leads the flock. The flock follows the shepherd.
So it's just a little bit of die or something.
Well, yeah, it's letting him know that future, but not in what we're reading, though. So why is God telling him to name his kids like this?
I'm fine.
Okay, then let me ask you this. God made a promise to Israel, right? He made a promise. He's going to keep the promise, correct? He made a commitment. And that was his commitment, his 10. You'll be like the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And in the place where it is said to them, you are not my people, it will be said to them, you are the sons of the living God. That is God's chosen people. Remember when we did Abraham, or we read this a while back. What God promised his people. God always follows through on his promises, right? What is a promise? A verbal commitment, right? What is marriage? Commitment, right?
So
Okay, we're going to continue. Chapter 2, 1 and 2. Do you two feel comfortable reading or no?
Alright, I got it. This one include
This Lauren tweet.
all your brothers might be the and sisters compassion. Rebuke your mother, rebuke her, but she is not my wife, and I am not beloved. Let her remove the Philistines so can make thanks on, and very multitude to continue grass.
Okay, so what do those two names mean? You are not my people, and you deserve no mercy. So basically what he's saying is you are not my people, you deserve no mercy, and you are not my wife, and I am not your husband. And then states, okay, well, next it'll state what will happen if not done. But this is basically Hosea saying he's divorcing her, which is unheard of at that time. You don't divorce anybody at that time. You just deal. That's just how it is. Okay, and I'll read 3 and 4, which I just kind of spoiled on accident because I'm an idiot. Read it on 10.
I will strip her naked and explodes her as she looks confident for her. I'll make her like a desert and like a parched land, and I will have to, and I will let her die of thirst. All of the milk of past concerning because the actual could plain speed.
Does this sound like Hosea speaking or God's?
Yeah.
Because he's mad at it, right? You think God's happy with Israel? So then he's threatening to destroy her for what? Flirt? Cheating, sinning, breaking their commitment.
Yeah, I feel like this. I know. I think I need this much happy then.
Say it.
This is like him showing how it's okay to divorce her and not following the way of God, like when we touched on honesty to you.
What did God just say, though? God just said, this is my promise to you. And that the sons of Judah and the sons of Israel will be gathered together, and they will appoint themselves one leader, and they will go from the land. That basically means that they will uplift themselves.
So at some point I'm in there. Now, it stays.
is that God?
Don't like it when you just smile at us like that. I just said.
Because like you're like on the right path, but you're not there yet. And I need you guys to figure it out. The hint is Compare Hosea and Gomer to God and Israel.
If you're like, if he reads her to God on them, that'll help things. David turned on.
That's part of it. That's part of it. You just predicted the next chapter.
Wow. Good stuff.
Okay, we're going to keep doing this. What do you got?
God never gave up on Israel through all of their sinning. Why should you throw away your life that he gave you or told you to go with? Bunch of sins.
Yeah, but why is he doing this to Hosea? His prophet. Who said at the first line, my prophet, my only prophet.
I'm open believe.
Horse. Show and tell. Okay, just read a little bit more here, and then I'll see it. Okay, read just 5. You got her, or you want to skip?
Their father was clear the heart. You conceived them in active state feeding. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who give me my bread and my water, and my wool and my flesh.
So it's saying that Gomer, Hosea's wife, she's obviously being a prostitute, and she's looking elsewhere for provisions, right? Not from her husband, the one who provides for her, right? She's looking elsewhere to all these other people, all the other people around town, right? Okay, now read 6 and 7, please. If you want to, you can skip over here.
Therefore he ruled, I will head out to the way, and I will build a wall against her, so that she should not find his hat. She would see the lovers, but she would not overtake them, and she would seek them, but she would not find it. Then she would say, I will go back to my first husband, for it was better for me than Yamna.
So what did she do when times got hard?
Make
It's like that spare tire analogy, right? When you get in trouble, or like, oh, when you're riding fine, you're good. You don't need Jesus, right? So when stuff, you pop a tire. Oh, I need Jesus now. I need that spare tire out of the back. You only use them when you need them, right? Does that kind of sound like this?
what variable would the fit on might? Probably cool sign that.
In a way, yeah. Okay.
Smoked.
Why is God telling him to do this? If you're gonna put out a guess, put it out now.
You can learn it so that you can preach it.
Preach what to people?
That if you balls one thing, forget. You turn what you said.
What we said.
What did he say? Or was it what Vinny said?
They both kind of got a little bit.
Yeah. So you can preach that to the behold. That if God didn't give up on it, no why shouldn't give up on the person you love, just give them close. Okay, just
It's kind of right. Like I don't want to spoil in case somebody else has it. Ready? Why would God tell him to marry a prostitute?
Because
People can change. Well, why is God telling him to do this? And then she keeps going away. He divorces her, and then he gets mad and loses his crap on her, right? And says all these bad things that are going to happen. Read 8. Really, you got it?
And she did not know that it was I who gave her the grain, the wine, and the oil, and he lavished on her silver and gold, which they used for Baal.
Baal. Why don't Hosea be talking about Baal?
They there, she did.
Baal's a false god. Okay, Grandma, what is it?
Yes,
No. Why is God telling him to marry a prostitute?
because using Hosea to show how he feels with Israel. It's like a marriage him to Israel,
And when the people cheat and have false gods, this is how he feels. And he goes after them, does good things with them, and they still run away and cheat on him. And that's what Hosea and Gomer, that was their example, very example.
Unstick.
Jehovah, what?
Why did he pick Hosea?
Because it was his prophet. At the time, yeah. Because at the time, everybody's wicked. Or most of the people are wicked.
Yes, sir.
Something was, yeah.
They wouldn't understand it.
Yeah. Because sometimes to get closer to God, you have to see what God wants you to see. He's going to send you the test, right? That's like David and Goliath. David already took out the bear in the lion. Everybody else was scared. He sent the message out publicly, right? David went out there and killed the giant. David was a boy, a child, but he believed in God. Hosea is believing in God. God told him to do this. Everybody in town's looking at him like, yeah, everybody knows she's a whore. Why are you marrying her? Right? Has one son with him. Everyone's like, oh, okay, maybe you should change. Two with somebody else or other people. And then they're all like, you're an idiot.
This was like great cost to Hosea. And it put in his question, they questioned them as, are you really a prophet? Why is a prophet marrying a prostitute? Are you sure that you're calling God to be, this man speaking for God when you're near your prostitute? But it was an example that Gomer was the Israelites. And Hosea was like Jehovah going after Israel all the time. He gives them judgment, then they repent and go back to God, and then they would turn on him again. And that's just what Gomer did. She would go back to him and then go wait until the malevolent God is listening. Most. No, not pity. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that stones her mercy.
There's no mercy.
Mercy.
So did
He's had enough now. He's had enough.
So Hosea failed technically
No.
because he broke?
No.
He
Just wait.
divorced his wife.
Yeah, just wait.
There's that. Just him. God.
Jehovah himself, when the people are so wicked and evil and having false gods, what does he do? He sends punishment. Usually he lets another tribe come over and destroy them. And then they're like, oh, I'll be calling God. They need God again.
But what he's sending a message, though. He's warning them. He always warns them. He always gives you a second chance, right? So this is why he's doing this to Hosea. So Hosea knows the feeling that God has. He knows the severity of it.
I was going to say.
So these sweet good and eating wife or huh?
He comes back. She comes back. But just there's a message behind that too. But
Yeah, exactly. He divorces her like the Lord punishes, Jehovah punishes Israel. That's sort of what it's like. You want, if you're going to go off on your own way, God tries to get you back. But at some point, go to it. Yep, go to it then.
it's like with Saul. Saul got to the breaking point, right? Saul turned around and tried killing David like 45 times. And then what did he do? Keep saying, oh, David, I'm so sorry. Your God is the greatest. Or God is the greatest, this and that. And then what did he do? Turn around and try to kill him a week later. God let him loose. God let a demon over him. So he's showing Hosea this. Do you feel like there's messages in your life that you got to learn the hard way? Like sometimes you got to touch the stove to realize it's hot.
It's okay.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like I suggest don't do this, but if you pray for patience, do you think God's just going to give you patience? He's going to make everything easy in life? Or do you think he's going to give you a bunch of tasks that's going to make you develop patience?
The character trials.
Yeah.
Trials will kill.
Like before David was king, what did he do? He went through everything. He had to realize patience. He had to realize mercy. He could have killed Saul right in the cave with him. What does he do? He cuts off a piece of his robe and goes, "Hey, what is this? I could have killed you, but I didn't." He learned mercy there, right? Everybody else telling him, "Oh, kill him! He's tried to kill you 15 times. He's hunting you right now. That's why we're hiding in this cave." He doesn't do it. He goes up against the giant. You think he was like scared to do that? Same sort of thing. You think Hosea, a man of God, living the good life, wanted to marry a prostitute? You think he wanted to be humiliated in front of everybody? You think you wanted to have a daughter or have a son with this woman and then have her turn around and have 2 kids with somebody else while she's still married to you? And then you're sitting here trying to give her everything. And then she's running away to everybody else? Same thing for God. He's giving you everything. Now you turn around running to everybody else. That's what Israel was doing. Jesus died for everybody. So all of us are Israel. You're children of God. You turn around running to everyone else. That's going to be the message here, but we got to keep going because this gets better. What did we just stop at? 8?
Nine round.
Yeah. So do we cheat on God? Remember how we asked that question earlier? According to those standards.
This is saying God gives us everything we need. Why are we running out this and that?
Yeah, so do we cheat on God?
Time.
All the time. Does God still love you?
All time. I can't take the Father to be on me and me always having big for.
So God asks for his 1 day a week, right? He asks for his 1 day of attention. Do you go just because you feel obligated to? You do your time. You know what I mean? Do you even show up that 1 day? I know. That's why this is pretty convenient, isn't it? Some of my best ones, I feel like I'm calling myself out. Sometimes I do the whole study, and then Wednesday rolls out, I'm reading it, and I'm like, holy cow. I'm an idiot. I literally wrote about it, and I didn't even see what was right in front of me. And I hope when I translate it, it kind of does the same thing to you.
Yeah, I want you all the time, though. That one time is to get together with other sisters and move.
But I'm starting on a stepping stone here. Do you give them the 1 day? Before you give them every day, you give them 1 day. You know it's every day. But do you even give them 1 whole day? Or do you just sometimes do it because you're doing your time? I'm doing it because I know it's right. I'm doing it not because I want to be there.
What does God judge? Judge
To your
your
heart.
motives, not your actions.
Judges what's in your heart. But he is the provider. That is what that whole thing was saying. You can go back through the whole thing. Everything from chapter 1 to 4. Every single thing that whole Hosea is saying is also what God is saying to Israel. Like, look at it. You word it perfectly. 9 through 13. Am I of you?
Therefore, I will take back my grape in its time, and wine in its season, and I will take away my wool and my flax, which were to cover her nakedness. Now I will uncover her nakedness in sight of her mothers, and no one shall rescue her out of my hand. And I will put an end to all the mirth, her feasts, her new moons, her Sabbaths, and her appointed feasts. Says, these are 13.
13.
And I will lay waste her vines and her fig trees, in which she said, these are my wages, which my lovers have given. I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall devour them. And I will punish her for the feast days of the Baals, when she burned offerings to them, and adorned herself with her rain and jewelry. And I went after her lovers and forgot you, declared the Lord.
Does that sound like Hosea talking to Gomer? Does it? What's some of the stuff he says right in there? What's some of the stuff? So,
Will make them issue for the means about that beast of other.
he's going to expose them. He's going to take all their provisions away, right? What did Gomer do? Or what did Hosea do to Gomer? Left her out to dry, right? Took all of her provisions away. Then what? She wanted to come back, right? Same example, correct? But what is God saying here? He'll leave her naked. He takes away all of her grain, wine, silver, and gold. He'll take away everything. Just leave her with nothing. He's saying this to Israel because they keep doing the same thing to them. And I will punish her for the days of Baal, when she used to offer other sacrifices. So imagine God gives you some and you turn around and use that gift from God to give glory and worship something else that is in the opposition of God. Not hurt you. You did that to somebody, right? You give something to somebody that just means everything. They turn around and just like use it against you, pawn it off to like your enemy, right? That make me mad, for lack of better words. Okay, 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her, bring her into the wilderness, and speak kindly to her. Okay, this kind of sounds like God is changing her a little bit, doesn't it? Like kind of changing his path. Why is God saying, I'll bring her into the wilderness and speak kindly to her? Give her a chance. Show mercy. But he's bringing her to the wilderness because he's secluding her from the worldly things. He's taking away the distractions. Hey, Vinny, so when you start getting into God, was it a lot easier when you didn't go out to stop drinking?
Yes.
Like when we said we were just going to go out and hang out, right? We ended up drinking, right?
Yep.
Every time we went out, planning not to drink, we drank.
Then we drank that.
If you put yourself in that situation, you can.
Even if you don't want to, it's still
So,
They get out of the picture.
yeah. So if we were like we have been, we secluded ourselves. It's a lot easier now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So God's telling you right here, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak kindly to her. I'm going to take away the distractions. I'm going to talk you up, and you're going to be ready to go. Oh, shoot, we're on 15 through 20. Then I will give her her vineyard. Then I will give her her vineyards from there, in a valley of Acre as a door of hope, and she will sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the days when she came up from the land of Egypt. Okay, that right there is referencing the land of Egypt. It's like we're talking about it right now from Moses. Their life was miserable there, right? They rejected God. They didn't know God. Moses came and showed them God. Then what? They got thrown out into the desert to well, they got made work harder. Yeah, they got tortured by the Pharaoh, but then they got thrown out in the desert to seclude them from the idol worship and all that other stuff. With all the distractions, they threw them out. He's saying the same thing's going to happen. So, like what Grandma said, somebody might come over and overtake them again. They might have to leave. They might get pushed out of the area. Okay, so where was I?
He's in 6.
Okay, and it will come about in that day, declares the Lord, that you will call me Itch, and you will no longer call me, well, okay, yeah, you're going to call me Baal, for I will remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, so that they will be mentioned by their names no more. In that day I will also make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, and the creeping things of the ground. And I will abolish the bow and sword and war from the land, and I will make them lie down in safety. I will betroth you to me forever. Yes, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in loving kindness and in compassion. And I will betroth you to me in faithfulness. then you will know the Lord. Ish means a good relationship with God. So you will call me Ish. You will call me a great relationship. So in all that, what does it kind of sound like he's saying? Pardon? Yeah. He's restating his promise, right? His promise that you are its people. His promise that it will be you and him forever if you choose it. But you have to choose it. God's saying he'll leave it all out there if you commit to him. And whatever that false God is that's keeping you away from him, he's trying to pull you away from it. But the flesh wants what the flesh wants. The flesh wants that evil thing. Like, how hard was it to quit, like, the world stuff? Or what, it take us like 8 months to actually fully quit? Longer. Longer? It's probably like a year, eh?
Probably longer.
Well, technically, it took us 22 years.
Well,
But
it's true.
But
We went from the complete opposite to one day being like, we need Jesus in our life. Me and Vinny Grandma started this Bible study. We would show up to Bible study on Wednesday, go get absolutely drunk on Friday, Saturday, show up to church sometimes on Sunday, and then repeat. And we didn't see anything wrong with it.
because we weren't actually trying, we're just trying to satisfy ourselves.
Did it feel like it got harder to do that?
Yeah.
Did it feel like God was kind of pulling at you? Giving you little warnings and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
When you want God, he'll want you back. So if you're looking and seeking God, he'll pull you back. Some stuff I didn't realize I was sinning. I found God and it was kind of like, I used to do this every day. Now it's like, this doesn't feel right. Something's kind of pulling at me. And then one day we talked about it at Bible study, just by mere luck, like a week later. I was like, whoa, that's me. Nobody even knew it.
Was it luck or was it counter?
Yeah, it's not.
I don't think it was boxed. But sometimes you don't hear him because you don't listen. I noticed that for the longest time. And then it's like little things you're like, oh, like that's me. I do a Bible study. I think I'm being a way better person. I do a Bible study, and then sure enough, I call myself out on it. Like I said, that just, what was the odds that you guys asked? Oh, did you guys go to church on Sunday? And I was literally talking about it. I was writing this. I was like, man, that was me. Like, yeah, we did pray before meals. We prayed before bed and such, but we didn't go to church on Sunday. I forgot. The one thing that should have been on my mind, I forgot. So what's making you cheat on him? Is it Sunday football? Are you missing God because you're watching football on Sunday?
So I have things.
There's a mean game, isn't there? So people got pregame and noon game.
Gotta be willing to watch that doing, right?
Was hunting it? Exactly.
Yeah. So
What is your excuse? What's making you cheat on? Is hunting it in a way? Yeah, me and Vinny missed because we were sitting out there.
not even.
Well, if you were a good shot, you'd be done by the time Triggle's ready. So,
Don't worry, our gun doesn't jam. Our gun, yeah, we don't steal birds and gun jam at every 2 shots.
I heard his story.
Okay, but what do you consider cheating again? Thoughts? Bob?
Use.
A kiss? What do you consider cheating again? How invested are you? Bad pictures, bad thoughts? Bad relationship? What's pulling you away from God? 21 through 23. Read a what?
Oh, I'm reading. So by it.
It's what it is. Oh. Continue.
All right.
Yeah.
It will come about in the day that I will respond, declares the Lord. I will respond to the heavens, and they will respond to earth. And the earth will respond to the grain, to the new wine, and to the oil, and they will respond to Jezreel. I will sow her for myself in the land. I will also have compassion on her who had not obtained compassion. And I will say to those who are not my people, you are my people. And then I will say, you are my God.
Does this kind of sound like foreshadowing? Why does he keep saying this? I will sow for myself in the land. I will have compassion on those, and he will say to the people who are not my people, and they will say, you are my God.
I have no sense.
What? Oh. He's foreshadowing.
What in Simon's count at this?
What? But he's... That boy was. But God's saying the same thing, right?
But they
Firstborn.
The first
The firstborn was Jezreel.
Two girls were cheated.
all bodies and the means and now on Sunday.
No, that's no mercy. But you are not my people.
I know that.
You are not my people.
Israel is sometimes known as a firstborn of Jehovah,
Of God.
and that us Christians, later the Gentiles that accept grace or became believers,
Longer.
are.
No, but why does he keep bringing up the son, the firstborn? Israel's the firstborn. His firstborn is the son. And God keeps saying, where do you say right here? There will come about the day that I will respond. I will respond to the heavens, and they will respond to the earth. Doesn't it sound like he's foreshadowing Jesus? But didn't he say earlier that this guy's son would die too? So God's showing Hosea exactly how he feels and how it's going to have to be done in order for it all to be right. Because right here, what's he saying too? You are my people, and they will say, you are my God. At that point, if you weren't an Israelite, you weren't considered God's chosen people. You weren't considered his people. Like, yeah, you could be like brought in, but like, if you just followed God off to the side, they didn't accept you. You know what I mean? Okay, right here, 3. I think it's the whole thing. Chapter 3, 1 through 5.
You want? I can read. I can finish it out. Really well.
outlined the way I believe. It is death.
Yeah.
And the Lord said to me, go again, love him, you love them all, okay, arguing on, and the same adulteries, he mad for more and most what swirl. Well, they turn to the gods and up caves of me, reasons. So I bought her, wrote 18 shacklings, I sold them, and a Omer batch of barley, and I said to her, you must grow as mice and turn them into days. Shall not plague the harlot or belong to me not in man. So I will also be to you. I have chosen up these rules of the well many days the gardening mountains. The dog sacrifice and the door. Those and no or for then. Afterward the station of this view shall return the more they bought, and they with their son, and they shall mountain fear for here to be born.
And I shared his brothers and the here it is.
So what did he do? Hosea had to buy her back, right? Didn't Jesus buy us back? He paid silver. Jesus paid blood. So I didn't ask you earlier if you're cheating, or if you take back a cheater just to say like, oh yeah, would you take back a cheater? Honestly, me, no, I still want to take back a cheater, but God's taking us back. We cheated on him. And he's paying for us to be back. We didn't even pay to be back. How does that make any sense, right? Like, do you deserve that? I don't deserve that. Everything I've done against God. And he turns around and pays to get us back. I've committed sins against him. I have rejected him. I have cheated on him. I turn around, I'm like, God, yeah, I'm for you. And then turned on Saturday, went out and got drunk. It took me like 15 times before I actually got saved. You know what I mean? And then we come right back to it. He paid for me to come back. I feel unworthy of it. God used a bad thing, though, in a good man's life to show him what he needed to see. God put a test in front of him, and he went through the whole test. Anywhere in here, did you hear him complain? Did Moses complain? Did Moses accept God's challenge, though? No, Moses is arguing with God. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not good enough. Hosea did it.
I said show and tell we forbid that object blessing.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, he did it. He lived out what God is trying to send. He made Hosea was without.
And showed him. So where's the best place to be? Best place to be?
That is that.
On God's path. Hosea stayed on it. God watched him through the whole way. The next chapters are all talking about what God's going to do to Israel. So Hosea saw, by chapter 3, Hosea saw what God went through. He'd seen enough. Now God's going to go through and basically explain what's going to happen to Israel. But Hosea was in God's path, did his work. Imagine being written down in this book for doing exactly what God asked you. He was obedient. He followed what the Lord wanted. Even though everybody else around him was thinking, oh, wow, this guy's going to marry a whore? Nice. Yeah, he can't be from God.
Power in the house. Idiot.
He didn't question him. He'd be like, oh, God, I can't do that. I can't do that. He knew if he did what God wanted, God would give him the power to do it.
Essentially.
That's all I got.